My name is Florian. In 2020, I set myself a challenge. Cycle 400 kilometers through Wales, from Cardiff in the south to Anglesey in the north. In the previous episodes, I had reached the beautiful Brecon Beacons National Park, and I had decided to stay for a night in the city of Brecon to take a well-deserved shower and rest a bit my knee who had started to hurt the day before. I had decided to change a bit my plans for the days to come. Instead of cycling, I had decided to take a bus to cross the Cambrian mountain range, as I was afraid my knee injury would worsen and then I may waste too much time. On my fourth day of the adventure, I decided before leaving Brecon to visit the cathedral, which has been recommended to me several times in different guides. The inside was interesting, especially the roof, which I took nice pictures of. And after this, I was ready to leave the town, direction to the place I would take the train from, Landrin-de-Wells, more or less 45 kilometers away. Time to go.
We're on the road again. On the road again. Like still a few kilometers to go until our next stop, and also I haven't taken any provision this time. Just have a few dried apricots and water, lots of water. So I haven't eaten for lunch. Hope it will be all right. But I mean, we only have like 2 hours to go, so should be okay. I'm just afraid to not have enough sugar, and then like be very tired. But we'll try to avoid that. I was cycling and look at what I saw like on the side. That's a Highland cow. That's a Highland cow. I love like Highland cows, so happy there.
North of Brecon, the landscape was becoming truly spectacular, but I had a hard time enjoying it, as my knee was hurting again, way worse than before. I had to do freaking poses, which greatly reduced my pace, and which made it very hard for me to keep on time with my initial schedule. But to be truly honest, the surrounding landscape was so nice that it really helped me to go through with it despite the pain.
Okay, we arrived to Wales, which was like the first stop today. Second stop was where we're supposed to take the bus, but I think it's gonna be too late already. So let's just like see if we can get some food here, and then we'll continue our road like to like the place where I'm supposed to take the bus and camp not far from there. We'll find a hotel. So like tomorrow, first thing I can take the bus. Here we go, Co-op, saving us from hunger and thirst.
So I've decided to take a break
So I'm just gonna have my dinner here, and and also rest a bit my knee, as I don't want things to worsen. I found like this co-op was like decent size, and I think the city itself is like city, maybe it's a town more than a city. Is okay, so maybe worth having a look. It seems like the church is a bit weird, so having a look there, and then like slowly get going in direction to the place I'm supposed to take the bus tomorrow. And yeah, like, the town looks pretty nice.
As the sun was setting, I could not find my way to Llandrindol Well, and after like several mistakes, I decided to set my camp in a field not far from my destination. It was a bit wet, but I had a feeling the view the day after, when I would wake up, would actually be very nice, as the campsite was on a hill. Day 5 was not really an eventful day. It was mostly spent in transportation to go to Aberystwyth. When I woke up, I was very pleased to see that I was right, and that the surrounding landscape was beautiful. I flew my drone and I managed to get very nice footage. When I got back on the road, I also discovered that Llandrindol Wells was very close from where I had decided to camp, like literally 1 or 2 kilometers away, so I could have reached it the day before had I known. The good thing is though, it made it for a very easy ride in the morning to reach my destination and the place I'll be taking the bus from to Aberystwyth. As I had a bit of time to visit Llandrindol Wells, I discovered a few interesting facts. The town owes its existence to the discovery of mineral-rich springs here in the 18th century, but it really developed and became quite a famous spa town during the 19th century, especially thanks to the development of railways in the UK. Despite the bad weather, I really found this cute and nice spending a bit of time in. After getting a very nice breakfast, I decided to go look for the bus station, where I was supposed to take the bus all the way to Aberystwyth.
So I need to go to the bus station, which is supposed to be really next by. I think that's it. It's hard to tell. Okay, wait. Yeah, I think that's it. Aberystwyth, yes, at 11:12. Okay, cool. Awesome.
In the end, I had to change my plans again, because the bus driver for the bus going to Aberystwyth directly didn't want to let me in with my bike. Thanks to God, I found another bus driver who was going to a town called Newtown, slightly north of Llandrindol Wells, from which I could take a train to Aberystwyth. So it lengthened a bit my trip, but in the end I managed to find a solution. The journey between Llandrindol Wells and Newtown is not actually very interesting, but it started raining quite badly, which made me very happy to actually be in the bus when that happened. I did not stay much in Newtown, only roughly an hour, enough time to have lunch at the local McDonald's, and then took the train to Aberystwyth, where I arrived in the middle of the afternoon.
Okay, I arrived to Aberystwyth, so that's a city on the coast. Things called it stopped raining, that was pretty cool. And had to take the train from Newtown to come here. I hope it's gonna be nice. It's definitely a change of scenery as you get the sea. I booked a hotel for tonight, and I'll see if I go to the Devil's Bridge, which is a place where you have 3 bridges on top of one another from different times. The only issue is I usually have a very nice scenic like train you can take there. Like of course with COVID it's cancelled now. We'll see if I can go there in another way instead, either today or tomorrow.
After I had left my backpack at the hotel, I visited like the main sites, the main highlights of the town, so namely the castle and the shoreline. And after this, I decided that it was better to leave the Devil's Bridge visit to tomorrow, as I had no idea how to get there, and it seemed to be a bit complicated and a bit far to do it like just cycling. So instead, I decided to go to a city north of Aberystwyth called Bourth. So it was not very far, maybe 1 hour cycling. Bourth is quite well known in the region because of the submerged forest it holds. The forest dates back to more than 4,500 years ago. The submerged forest appears once in a while after like a big storm, and often during winter at low tide, and is often associated with a local legend of a submerged kingdom. I was very excited to see this remnant of such a distant past with my own eyes. Unfortunately, when I arrived, I could see nothing, and when talking with the locals, I discovered that portions of this forest were only visible at low tide in a specific period of the year, often after a winter storms. I still managed to take a few nice pictures, but the weather was not really on my side this time, which is such a shame because Bourth is quite a pretty and scenic village. After coming back to Aberystwyth, I decided to finish my day with a nice meal. I had noticed what looked like a very nice and fancy restaurant at the end of the pier, and I was not disappointed. It was by far the best meal I had in Wales, so I ordered half lobster, which was delicious, and also had a nice chocolate cake, which was more than decent at the end of the meal. All in all, a fitting end to this 5th day. This is the end of this episode, and in these 2 days I didn't manage to cycle that much. I had to use other means of transportation than cycling, but to be honest, I believe it is for the best. Mostly because with my knee injury it would have been very difficult to actually cross the Cambrian Range, and anyways, like the 2nd day was very rainy, so it would not have been a very pleasant experience, and God knows how long it would have actually taken. So the next episode will be about how I reached the National Park of Snowdonia, which, to my own opinion, is by far the most beautiful of the 3 national parks of Wales. But this is a story for another time, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment or like and subscribe, and I see you in the next one, which should come very, very soon. Tschüss!